What up, what up, what up to all my movie heads and my movie fan base out there? The movie man is back in full effect, and I'm here to give my quick review of Beverly Hills Cop 1, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and Beverly Hills Cop 3 here on Constantine Jr. Stay tuned. Psst, up here, way above the badge. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3 is because actually I always wanted to do this. I actually wanted to start my channel for this, but there were certain things that I just was caught up in other things. I'm gonna leave it like that. Other reason is because the Netflix Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley is coming out in summer 2024. I believe Eddie Murphy's a great actor and a great comedian, more of an actor to me after he did Norbit, Coming to America, and The Nutty Professor. He fooled me to Come to America. I did not. I had to wait to the end of the movie to find out that he was playing all those characters, and just a great actor. I just love looking at this poster. I just love looking at this poster. A lot of people don't know a lot of things about Beverly Hills Cop and 2 and 3, so let me fill you on the first one. Did you know Eddie Murphy was not supposed to play this role? Mm-mm-mm. He wasn't supposed to play this role at all. He had another movie he was supposed to do that fell through. Guess who was supposed to play this role? That's right, Mr. Stallone himself, Mr. Cobra, Mr. Rocky, Mr. Rambo. All right, he was supposed to play this role. Martin Brest, which directed Beverly Hills Cop, had him signed up, but he dropped out due to saying it's too comical. He wasn't a comic. He wanted to be more drama, but they wanted to mix comedy and action together. It was the first time comedy and action was mixed up together like an action comedy. They never heard of that before, and so he dropped out. In a later interview, he said that he was kind of scared because he didn't think the movie wasn't going to be a hit. And if he was in it, I promise you, it was not going to be a hit. Stallone had every right to drop out. He's not a comedian, and he knew where this script was going, and so he did the right thing. He dropped out, guys. Ding, ding, ding. Guess who steps in the ring? Eddie Murphy. And he has one issue that before he joins the cast, before he joins the movie production, the only requirement of him joining is him producing. And that's why he came with Eddie Murphy Productions. Before that, one of his biggest movies was Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd. That was a hit. And again, they didn't see him in this role like that because they didn't want it to be too comedy. And he's a comedian. He's funny. You know, all his other films before that was funny, came from SNL. So they was rolling the dice with this one. But who convinced them? Who convinced Paramount? Jerry Bruckheimer. That's right, Jerry Bruckheimer, who produced Bad Boys, who produced Top Gun, who produced Days of Thunder, who produced a lot of great action flicks. His partner Don Simpson produced it too, and he and Don went to Paramount to convince Paramount to give it to Eddie Murphy because they were sketchy on that. They were very sketchy. And movie trivia: Don Simpson later died. This is on production of The Rock with Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, and Ed Harris. He died of a drug overdose. That was his last production. And Rock was one of the great action films I saw. It was like Die Hard and Alcatraz. Just beautiful. Anyway, Eddie Murphy got the part. He got his production team on, and the rest is history. Synopsis of Beverly Hills Cop is that Axel Foley, friend, comes to visit him in Detroit. He's a Detroit police officer, and his friend is a swindler type, convict type. But that's what they were in the teenage years. But Axel grew up and he became a cop, and his friends stayed on the criminal path. All in all, one thing leads to another. His friends get shot in the stairway, and he's told to stay off this case because it's a personal involvement. Cops are not supposed to be personal involved with murders of friends or relatives or family members. But Axel Foley takes a vacation and tells his superior officer that I'm going to Beverly Hills just for a vacation. Of course, he's lying, and he goes there to solve the murder of his friend. And as you can see on top, he's on a police car because as soon as he gets there, he meets the guy who potentially has murdered his friend. And this villain takes him and his thugs and throws Axel Foley out of a window. And as you can see, he's being searched by the cops. And again, he doesn't look like a cop, right, guys? He doesn't look like a cop. And that's the point. One of the tones of this film, of Beverly Hills Cop, what I love so much is that he's a black cop. He's a black cop. He doesn't look like a cop. That's why most of the films he has done, all 1, 2, and 3, he's always on the cover because he doesn't look like a cop. He really does. If you saw this dude on the street, you would think he's going to snatch something from you. And that's the point. You'll never think he's a cop. And basically, Axel Foley captures a fish out of water. He's in Beverly Hills, and a black guy in Beverly Hills in 1984. All right, yeah, there's a lot of racial undertones in this movie, but basically, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover. And I think that was part of the comic fun of it. Now, if this was done in this time, I'm sorry, with this woke movement, this cancel culture, this movie would have been canceled. They would have canceled this movie, which is sad. That's why I said all the Gen Zers who's watching this movie, you may not get the jokes, but in 1984, it was a reason why this movie was made. Just the fact that he was arrested because he was thrown out a window was hilarious to me. And he's ill right there, and I'm not trying to give all the movie away, but it's very easy for me just to do scene by scene with this movie. The person that Eddie Murphy captures pointing at is John Ashton. He plays Taggart, Chief Taggart, and him and Eddie gets in a tussle. Right after that, Taggart punches Foley in his belly, so they don't get off on a good start. And his buddy beside him, which is actor Judge Reinhold, he plays Billy Rosewood, and they're by the cop, by the book. Cops, they do everything by the book, and Eddie Murphy comes in and messes that up, and they start doing hijinks and all this, and they breaking the laws, breaking into places. He basically is a cop who does criminal activities to get the bad guy, and I think that's the beauty of Beverly Hills Cop. That's why everyone loves this movie because he's like a criminal, but with a badge. I forgot before I left this actor, a lot of people know his face, right? Look at his face. Remember his face? He played villains in 2 big major sci-fi films. Did you guess what films it is? That's right. It's 1987's RoboCop, directed by Paul Verhoeven, starring Ronnie Cox and Peter Weller, who plays RoboCop. This film is in my top 5 films of all time. I have some 4K UHD, and I'm about to review that too. And as you can see, Ronnie Cox was a very, very popular actor back in the 80s. This film is 1990's Total Recall, directed by Paul Verhoeven and starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm about to do a review on this movie too. But as you can see, Ronnie Cox is on top of his game, and he's like a very archetype villain. He plays another villain in another movie, but all in all, Total Recall is one of my top sci-fi movies, top 10 actually, on my top 10 movie list, action movies of all time. Just brilliant, very brilliant movie. All in all, Beverly Hills Cop is beautiful in 4K UHD. I did not get the case or the physical media to this. I got this on Vudu. I got a 3-pack. It was a bundle and save pack. They usually have it on sale on Vudu. And it came with Beverly Hills Cop 2 and Beverly Hills Cop 3. But they all look beautiful digital. And Vudu to me has the best digital streaming to me. Maybe iTunes could beat that. I think iTunes could beat that. But when it comes to 4K UHD, nothing beats Vudu to me. This is just my personal opinion. But it looks beautiful and the grain keeps up. Again, I'm not an aspect ratio kind of dude, but just looks 1,000 times better on 4K than it did Blu-ray. And I saw this movie in VHS, so this is a million steps up, Beautiful grain, beautiful ratio, just beautiful movie altogether. Psst, psst, up here, next to the Beverly Hills sign, right, there you go. Picture, there you go, I'm right here. All right. Anyway, Eddie Murphy's back in Beverly Hills Cop 2, because the heat is on. Also, the synopsis of the story basically is Lieutenant Vogelmeyer from the first one, his friend, the guy who got to, stick up his butt, but, became Axel Foley's friend during the years. They went fishing together. Yeah, they hung out together. Anyway, he gets shot. He gets shot because he came too close to the crime syndicate, the Alphabet Gang. And he doesn't die. He's just in a coma, but they don't know if he's going to make it or not. I'm not going to give that away either, but you got to watch the movie to find out if he does. But the point is, Eddie Murphy goes down to Beverly Hills to solve the shooting of Vogelmeyer and to get kind of justice and vengeance at the same time. It's, and Taggart and Rosewood is there along for the ride. Movie trivia. This movie was the #1 movie in 1987. No other movie beats this movie. None. Just like in 1984, Beverly Hills Cop was #3. It was the first rated R movie ever to hold 17 weeks #1 in 1984. Ghostbusters was #1, but nobody outranked Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy in the 80s was just unstoppable. The rated R Eddie Murphy was the best Eddie Murphy. I said this before and I'll repeat it again. Just the best. This is just one of the action-packed scenes that you'll see in Beverly Hills Cop 2. This scene is where they confront the Alphabet Gang and they get a shootout with them, which is just, this scene's very funny, very funny. Again, for all my Gen Zers, if you're not from the 80s, you wouldn't understand the jokes that are made in this movie. But again, try to understand. It was 1987. It was a different era at a different time. This scene is Taggart and Rosewood. I'm not going to tell you if it's the end or the beginning. The point is, guys, Beverly Hills Cop 2 gets a 10 out of 10 for me, just like Beverly Hills Cop gets a 10 out of 10. These two are the best in the trilogy. And you're going to know why the third wasn't that successful. But again, I got this on 4K UHD. On Vudu, you can do the same. First, let it be on sale, though. Let it be on sale, and then you guys can get it. And the aspect ratio with this, I don't care. I'm not a tech nerd, but this movie is beautiful. It holds up. It's 1,000 times better than Blu-ray. Don't let nobody fool you. The 4K grain and all that. Let me tell you something. 4K is the wave, and 8K is coming too. So that's about to be something beautiful too. But this is actually 4K grain I'm showing you. I don't know if you can show on your tablet or your computer, but this is 4K grain. So it's beautiful and it holds up, guys. This movie holds up. Now comes the last of the last. Why most fans of Axel Foley, including me, of the Beverly Hills Cop series cannot understand why this movie was made. Jerry Bruckheimer was not involved. The writers for the first two were not involved at all. It was directed by John Landis, who directed Eddie Murphy and Coming to America. Love Coming to America, but John Landis is not, and I repeat, is not an action director. He was not supposed to do something like this. This was basically the synopsis of the story was that his boss gets shot in an undercover sting operation. Okay, and he's going to Beverly Hills again to get revenge, to bring the guy to justice. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but the actor who's playing this character named Ellis DeWald, which is the bad guy that shot Eddie Murphy's boss, killing him. His name is Timothy Hutchison, or Timothy Hunton, if I'm not mistaken. Timothy Hunton. As I said before, he's in Beverly Hills. He is the security head of Wonderworld, a made-up fictional place for Beverly Hills Cop 3, which most of the action takes place. This scene is where Axel Foley's risking his life for two kids on the Wonderworld ride because, the villain shot at him and, the bullet malfunctioned the ride, so he's there saving the kid, which I liked a little bit, but this was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. These scenes were unnecessary, but, to put Axel Foley in a good light, it wasn't Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. John Ashton could not come back due to scheduling difficulties, and when they was filming this in 1992, I think, he was on another movie. So Judge Reinhold came back, and someone had to replace Taggart. Basically, it was this actor, Hector Elizondo, and he plays John Flint. And as you know, him and Eddie and, they have hijinks in this movie, but it's not like the hijinks with Taggart and Rosewood. That's why I'm glad that John Ashton is coming back in Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley in Netflix. Yeah, if you saw the commercial, he's back. Both of them. The three duo is the three. I love the three. And nothing against Hector here, but he's no Taggart. They try to replace Taggart. They didn't do it. That's why I said this movie should really not have been made. Bad. No. He was funny, but he wasn't funny. No. Movie trivia time. This movie was on a budget of $70 million. And it took in $119 million at the box office. So it did recuperate it. But all in all, this film to me should not have been made. It's just a harsh critique because I love this character. I just love, I actually like the film now. I'll give this a film 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. I like this film. Before I didn't, but it's growing me. And especially in 4K UHD, this movie looks brilliant. So guys, get the triple pack of the first two. Get this just to watch it. And again, I recommend this series to any Gen Zers who love Eddie Murphy and love his films. Know that this man, to me, is not only a comedian, he's a dedicated actor. The movie man is out.